Welcome to Team Perry's Step Out of Line podcast, featuring co-hosts Perry and Lori Finkelstein. Together, they explore, meet, and share inspirational stories with guests who have made a positive impact in today's world. This podcast resonates with our hope to make this world a better place one step at a time through love, acceptance, and uplifting conversations.
DiMatteo, who is a pretty awesome guy who started a nonprofit that we want to hear all about. We want to hear what you do, first of all, Sam, because you have many jobs on your Instagram account. We see you have a lot of things that you are doing. So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself first?
Okay, perfect. First of all, thank you for having me on. Like I said, very big fans of Perry now that Jacob Fabry, who you interviewed not long ago, kind of showed me what she was doing, and very inspirational. We're big fans. My whole life since I was little was nothing but sports, and I loved baseball and football and basketball and being active, and that's all I really ever wanted to do. And then I went to college and played baseball through college, and then was lucky enough to play 7 years of pro ball, independent pro ball, and that was an amazing time. It taught me a lot. And now I'm actually getting into coaching. So now that my run is up, now I like to stay involved with coaching and teach all the guys underneath me that are just getting started. It's kind of like my run has just ended, and I get to try to coach and mentor these kids whose run is just starting. So so that's my baseball aspect of it. Very, very quickly, you can go into detail in all the different places and states and countries and traveling and stories, and it's a lot of ups and downs, but it was an awesome experience. It made me who I am. It's taught me a lot, and now it has allowed me to coach and teach kids that are underneath me a lot of the stuff I learned as well. So kind of a cool circle of sports, how that works from start to finish. But yeah, I'm just getting done playing, getting into coaching, and then obviously mixed in with all of that was when I started my idea with the SD Project and my nonprofit company that helps athletes that struggle financially, or any athletes that battle a physical or mental disability. It was just a small idea back at home in Pittsburgh, PA. The area that I live in and the area that I'm from has a lot of low income towns and families, and a lot of people would reach out to me and our baseball facility for help, and they couldn't afford to do what they wanted to do, or they didn't have the right equipment and things like that. So I kind of, after so many times, I took it upon myself to try to start raising money for these kids, so whenever that would happen, we could help them, or they can keep playing sports and they didn't have to quit. And I saw it too many times where just later in my career, I wanted to try to make a difference there. And it worked out pretty well. We started raising money. A lot more than I expected. Thousands of dollars started coming in when we said what we were going to use it for. And we would post up pictures of the kids we're helping, and whatever their situation was, we would kind of describe it, respectfully, what they were battling against. And it was a really cool thing. I think a lot of people like to see where their donations were going to, what the child is battling against, or what the athlete is going against. And it took off pretty quickly. So it eventually turned into an official 501c3 nonprofit. And we've traveled to 6 different countries, and we've traveled all over the United States. And we've probably, have met or helped, thousands of athletes from this. It has been a very eye-opening experience. Like you said earlier, talking about doing something that you're uncomfortable with, or doing something that's very new to you. That was a big step, actually running a legit nonprofit. It was kind of a scary move, because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just a baseball player,
Right.
that wanted to help people. And that was a big step in the process, though. So that has allowed us to be more legit, and a lot of people still stay on board with donating, and allows us to do what we do.
Obviously, you must have a team of people who you surround yourself with that enable you, whether it's going to be like a physical therapist or just a coordinator of traveling. You must have a group of friends, a really good group of friends who give you their skills. I've read also that you don't accept a salary, but you want everything to go back in, which is unusual, but it's unbelievable that you do this. So who are your best friends that are hanging out with you, getting this done? And was it like an all-night session that you said, okay, what can we do? Let's do this, and it all came together? Or you had to say, I need help, help me? How did that work?
Man, this is such a great question, because I honestly don't get to talk about them a lot. Everyone sees SD Project and me, you know what I mean? And
Right.
there's a lot of a ton of people and that make this work, really. First and foremost is all the people that donate. Like we wouldn't be able to do anything like that. You know, the thousands of dollars that allows us to help these kids or travel to help these kids. And it's a big, huge group effort of all this donation money that comes in that allows us to do it. So first and foremost is the people that donate. It's like, that's the heartbeat of it. That's what makes it work. You know, if you didn't have that part of it, then you can't do anything. So I make sure that I really give them a lot of credit whenever I talk about any of this stuff. Anything we do, I always try to say we instead of I, you know, instead of saying like, I went to Africa, I went to this, you know, because that's not it. That it's way bigger picture than that of how this is all happening. And then the people that come with me, and like you said, my close friends that kind of, you can almost say that they're working for the company. You know, they stay involved that heavy. Is Jacob's one of them, one of the guys you spoke to, I think yesterday or a few days ago.
Yes.
But Jacob, yeah, and especially with the Miracle League, it's such a good connection. We've done a few kids out of there that he's brought to my attention or that I've seen. And then he's traveled with me out of the country to do a baseball trip. And then I have another friend, Richie Saratella, who's from Chicago, who same thing. He'll drop of a hat. He'll go anywhere we need to go. We'll go to any country. He'll do whatever he needs to do to raise money. He's another guy that's really been on board. I think he actually went to another country by himself because I couldn't go. I was too busy coaching. He went by himself. No problems, no questions asked. And Casey Teagarden, he is one of my old college teammates who lives out back in Pittsburgh, PA. Another one that calls me, always wants to be doing new things, new ideas, wants to help people. Always, you know, he's another one. He's traveled with me before. So I have, you know, that core group there, you know, they're usually down to head out and do what we need to do to help people. That's a thing they like to do. We're all very like-minded people, and I think that's why it works so well. That's why that crew has become, you know, some of my best friends, is we're very similar people, very similar upbringings, very similar path. And now we all feel the same as our sports upbringing and how it's allowed us to meet so many people and friends, and the path that it's led us down. It's amazing when you're done with it all, and you can look back and see how many great things that sports did for me and sports did for us. So I think we all feel now as if we owe people. We should be giving back because it's done so much for us. You know, I've had such a lucky, awesome path, so many awesome people, so many awesome places and great things that I got to experience through sports. And that's how I feel. I feel like I owe now. It was too good. You know, my upbringing was easy. I had a good family. I had a good life. I had great friends. I had an awesome support system. So now that I'm all done and I can look back, that's how I feel about it. I feel like I instead of just sitting on that and being content with that, it's like that it was so awesome. Now I owe because of how great all of that was.
Right.
If that makes sense.
It does, because I feel the same way with Perry, that the organization that we fundraise for, and Perry raised over $600,000 for us, High Lifeline. And when it got to the point where in her life, when she could start taking charge and giving back because she was strong enough to do so, it was probably the best day of her life that she decided to do that, because it's such a gratifying, wonderful feeling knowing that you could start doing something that you're meant to do, and you don't really know it. As we spoke about before the interview started, you don't really know it until it's happening, that this is where you're supposed to be and your life has taken you to this point. So that's kind of cool. You met a lot of people, a lot of kids. who is, and I know it's going to be hard to narrow down, who is the one child or person that you've helped that just stands out in your mind as tugged your heartstrings or just made you, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing? Is there any particular person, or is it a group? Can you narrow?
Oh man, yeah, that's a tough question. It's almost like groups pop into my head. Like when we went to Africa and we went to Dominican Republic, and it's like the big groups of kids, and man, there's a lot. That is a hard question to answer. I think recently, this will be a good answer for this. I met a kid last week, actually. So it's funny that you asked that. I'm not just pulling this up because it's the most recent. He was born with spina bifida, and he had the fact that I couldn't get over was he had 28 surgeries, and he's 8 years old, and he plays he does wheelchair tennis, and then he races in like a big custom wheelchair, and wants to be in the Paralympics, and has like all these big dreams, and is like the happiest kid in the world. And I went over there, and we were playing tennis, and like he didn't want to stop, and just smiling and laughing. And all I can think the whole time is 28 surgeries is, I've had 8 or so, 7 or 8, and I complain about them all the time. Like all the time. I do it all the time. And meeting a little kid like that at 8 years old had that many surgeries and just has a long road ahead, you know, and to see them still be so motivated and not complaining at all and just happy, and you know, it honestly does something to you. Like it makes you want to not complain. It makes me want to, you know what I mean? It like it's like a reality check sometimes, and that's so needed. And that's what this kind of stuff does so much. And I think like Perry and a lot of other people, they do this stuff, but they don't even realize it. Like whenever they're doing their thing, that's what when we see this stuff, it's unbelievable. You know, it's a reality check. It does so much good for us to see people doing what they love to do, even though the cards are stacked against them a little bit. You know, it puts things into check. It's a reality check for us. And that is one thing that I get time and time again from doing any of the stuff we do, is there's a lot of that. There's a lot of moments like that where it's like, man, you know, and then I come back here and I talk to my players, or I talk to my own family, and I tell them the things we see and how easy our lives are, you know, and how easy some of the stuff, and we still complain, and we still find ways to complain. And sometimes when you branch out and you open your eyes to some other stuff out there, it does a lot of good for you.
Yes, I agree. Perry, the same thing, 28 surgeries before the age of 11, I think. And
yeah, that's unbelievable.
Crazy. And as a parent, you don't really, you know, you take it in stride. And then only in such a moment of greatness where you're crossing the finish line and you realize how incredible it is. It all comes, you all realize that it's all about that last moment. And the crowd cheering and people clapping for her, and then it's an amazing feeling for her, but it's an amazing feeling for the team that's around her, because like you, with anything great in life, it's not one person who does it, it's a team. So we totally get it. I'm so glad that you spoke to us today. We love to meet you one day in person, hopefully. And we're so proud of what you do, and we want everybody to learn more about it, and they can follow you on Instagram at SD Project, so they can learn more about what you do and what you're bringing to the world. And we actually have a few friends that you might be interested in meeting who might be able to get involved in your organization, who are sports people who do this kind of thing. So it would be kind of awesome if we could connect you. So thank you so much, Sam. It was great to talk to you. It was so great to meet you. And we love you, and we'll keep following you and see wonderful things that you're going to accomplish.
Definitely. And just in closing, Perry, you keep doing what you love to do. We are huge supporters. No matter how tough it gets, how many surgeries, you do what you love to do. It's so inspiring. We've noticed it. We're fans. And once again, no matter how tough it gets, that's life. You keep going after it.
Thank you. Thanks, Sam.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.